Hey everybody, Yankee here. You know, one of the things I've always preached inside the gun community is that you don't have to be smart to carry a gun. It's a very simple tool. Even an idiot can use it. You don't have to be highly educated or have a huge IQ to carry and use a firearm. You just have to be responsible. You see, this whole thing of, oh, that guy's too dumb, I don't know if I'd trust him with a gun, that's just something anti-gunners and elitists and FUDs inside the gun community use to kind of denigrate working class people and say, well, those people probably shouldn't be trusted with a gun. You know, let's disarm the masses because they're not smart enough to handle this responsibility, which is total bunk. Education, IQ, that doesn't mean anything when it comes to, are you a responsible person? Can you make good decisions? As long as you are of normal intelligence, you know, you're not handicapped in any way. And even then, most of the time, you're still responsible enough to carry a firearm. You can carry and operate a firearm. And being educated doesn't mean squat. It doesn't really add anything. In fact, sometimes it can be a detriment to be too educated because you start to think you know better about every situation and you make dumb decisions. So I want to talk about that today. I want to talk about a specific incident here, which is a perfect example of how the whole you got to be smart, they're too stupid to carry is garbage, and how being smart and educated doesn't mean you're responsible enough to carry a gun. There was a guy in Brazil who is a pro-gun activist in Brazil, well known on social media, etc. His name is Leonardo Matthias de Novaes. Now, I probably mispronounced that. I don't speak Spanish or Brazilian or whatever it is they speak there. So Portuguese, I don't know. But that person, like I said, went into an MRI room. Now, this is a smart guy. He's a lawyer. So I assume he's highly educated and highly intelligent. So he decides he's going to go into an MRI room with his mother who's needing some medical treatment. And even though he was repeatedly warned, don't have anything metal on you, especially not firearms. There's even signs up all over the place. No metal objects, no firearms, etc. He decided that he was going to do what he wanted to do because I guess, I don't know the circumstances. Maybe he just said, I don't like to be disarmed. I think you're offending me by trying to disarm me, whatever. Maybe he thought he knew better because he's so smart. But he goes into the MRI room. He's carrying his gun inside his waistband. I do believe he was carrying an appendix. And the machine pulls the gun from his waistband. It strikes the machine because of the powerful electromagnet. And the gun goes off. And he gets shot in the stomach and killed. Killed by his own gun because he made an irresponsible decision to carry into a room with a giant electromagnet with a metal gun in his waistband. I don't know, like I said, because maybe he knew better or he was offended, whatever, but he did it and he died. This guy, like I said, I assume he was highly educated. Didn't seem to save him here. Most people, I think, could make that decision to like, ooh, I'm not carrying my gun in here because of that big electromagnet. He did not. So having a high IQ or a fancy education doesn't necessarily mean you're responsible. So trying to use that lack of an education or even lack of a superior IQ to demonize some people and say they can't carry, it's garbage. You don't have to be super smart to carry. Like I said, a gun is a simple tool. Most people can use it as long as they're responsible. And hey, I know lots of working class people. And I know a lot of working class people that aren't the brightest people. I got a lot of dumb friends. And a lot of those friends do dangerous jobs. Jobs where they could hurt themselves or someone else quite easily. And you know what? They don't. Because they're responsible. They make good decisions when it comes to dangerous situations because they know better. You know, they've learned lessons. They've practiced, whatever. But just because they don't have a high SAT score doesn't mean they can't be a very responsible person with a dangerous tool. And like I said, this guy in Brazil, perfect example of this. So when it comes to carrying, exercising your right, don't fall for that whole, that guy's too stupid to carry. Or I wouldn't trust most people to carry. That's garbage. I would trust most people to carry. That doesn't mean I think they're smart. It just means I think most people are good inside, good at heart, and can be responsible. I always use the expression, or not expression, but the saying, or it's not even a saying, it's kind of like a little anecdote, where I always say, if you lined 100 people up and one by one sat them next to a river and threw a puppy in the river, I think 98% of those people would jump in to save that puppy, even if they can't swim, because they're good people. 98% of them. Now, how many of those people would I trust to do my taxes? Maybe 2 of them. And even then, I'd be wary. I'd want to see some proof of education or something. So saying someone's smart and saying someone's good and saying someone's responsible are all different things. Don't fall into that trap that a lot of elitists like to use. In fact, that was one of the reasons I hate one of the YouTubers so bad, because I stood in a hotel lobby and listened to him talking to some NRA guys, or were they GOA guys, one or the other, about how most people are too stupid to handle a gun and most people on YouTube shouldn't be allowed to have a firearm. And I never have been able to tolerate that person since because of that attitude. So don't fall into that trap. Intelligence and responsibility, IQ, education, they're all different things. And I think a person of even below average to average and above intelligence can be responsible and can handle a firearm. And being intelligent and being educated doesn't mean you can. It's person by person, whether you're responsible, and that decision is to be made by you, whether you're responsible enough. So hopefully everyone out there can make good decisions with their firearms and can handle a firearm responsibly. But like I said, the idea that an education is required to do that is obviously a bunch of crap. Hey everyone, Yankee here. In my videos, we often cover some complicated subjects with a lot of gray area. So if you would like to further discuss anything said in my videos, please join us in one of my live chats. Live chats are held most days at 6 p.m. Pacific time, except for Monday and Wednesday when they are at 5 p.m. Pacific. There is a clickable link to the live chats in the upper right-hand corner of this video. If you disagree with anything I've said in a video, feel free to participate in Spank the Yank. You can come on the live discussion panel and let me know face-to-face how I was wrong.